not contribute to the problem of like, you know, I don't want to portray my life as perfection. Oh, it's a good feeling. Hi, welcome to Mommy Monday number 13. I'm Emily and 24 weeks pregnant, mother of almost 4 kids, and chef's wife. But this is kind of a fun one because no, I am not in Mexico. I'm actually at the house that we are hopefully going to close on this week or next. And so let me show you my view. We have to redo this guy, but other than that, oh, and look, for chef, there's a big barbecue with like a sit-down area here, and it's pretty exciting. And I know somebody was asking about a little play area for the kids. There's not a ton. I don't anticipate them playing out here too much. We have a little courtyard in the front, and then it's on a cul-de-sac so they can play, but I saw this little like area today. It's kind of cute. We could like put a little one of our little houses in there, or maybe a little sand structure, or hang some stuff in there. And then there's another little secret. This house is full of secret spots for the kids, so that's kind of fun. And then look at this great thing for Mama. That's off the main balcony. And so that's very exciting. This has been a journey, buying this house, and we just never would have even said, if somebody would have asked us 3 months ago if we were gonna buy a house or even in the market, we would have been like, no, we love our house, everything's great. Well, that's just kind of how life works in my world, you know. I just get a wild hair, and next thing you know, I'm jumping all the way in. And that's exactly how I bought our first house. Like, I'm kind of doing a lot of this by myself because Alex started his job. If you watched last week's vlog, I did a tour of the restaurant where my husband works, Alex, French guy, and he's been working a ton, so I've been doing a lot of this myself, but it's, you know, that's just life, and that's kind of how I did the first one too. I'm a flight attendant, as many of you know, and when I bought our first house, it was kind of the same thing. On a whim, I found a real estate agent and on a website, and I flew down. Oh no, that's what it was. I had an overnight here in Las Vegas, so I rented a car, met with this realtor, and we drove around and saw some properties, and we went out twice, and I just like made the decision like right then and there. And he was really great. He let me know that like, oh, you should really be looking into new homes. It was during the crash, so we have been really lucky. I know that a lot of people weren't this lucky, but we got into the housing market for the first time in the right time. We got in at 2008 when it was like really low and they were trying to get rid of stuff like hot potatoes. So that was good for us, and we were able to make a big chunk of money on the sale of our home, which will roll over into this home. And just the timing's right, you know. We waited until we knew what was going on with Alex's position, and holy cow, we didn't wait long. It was like we found out, and then the next day, I mean not the next day, but you know what I mean, we got the ball rolling quick. But it's good since, you know, this little gal will be here sooner than later. She'll be here in September. So I'm in full nesting mode is probably what it, you know, really is, and that I'm super motivated to just get this stuff done. And kids have been great. You know, it's been a lot of work, but it's also been like pretty seamless. So I can't complain that much. Some days have been worse than others. Like it's more the anxiety. I don't mind the paperwork and the calling people and getting all that stuff figured out. It's more or less the anxiety of like, which is silly because, you know, anxiety is always pointless. I know we all feel better when we worry about stuff, but it really doesn't do anything, does it? You know, that's a big thing I've been thinking a lot about. It's like, you know, why stay up in the middle of the night wondering what you'll do if it all falls through? If it all falls through, you'll just do what you do and make it work. So anyways, that's my little self-talk to myself. Pregnancy I've been feeling a lot better. A little pregnancy bump date. I was so fatigued for a couple weeks there. I mean, I understand tired. I'm not tired because of my kids. My kids have a really good sleeping habits, but it's that I stay up to be with my husband. If I want to see my husband at all, I have to stay up until, you know, 1, 2 in the morning to spend some time with him. And then we're back up. Our kids sleep pretty late, so we're back up at like 8 to 9. So I get my sleep, but you know, I've been trying to take it easy. Long story short, I know tired, but I didn't know fatigue. Like, this was like dragging myself around for a few weeks. And that's when I filmed a couple vlogs. Like, this is not my mode of operation. I feel like doo-doo. And I'm happy to report that I've kind of solved that in that I realized I wasn't taking enough protein and iron. So I beefed up my iron and my protein. And I didn't notice the difference like right away, but just having a protein shake a day and making sure I got my iron pill over a course of a couple weeks, I noticed a difference of feeling like just a lot more like myself, more predictable, instead of just getting like slayed by feeling like I wasn't even gonna make it up the stairs. Which is hard when you're running after 3 kiddos and doing all that I do. In other news, just thinking about a lot of stuff, researching, you know, I'm always got my free time. I'm always thinking and researching about just different ideas out there in the world. And I was learning some interesting things this week about what's called parasocial relationships. Kind of like even just the relationship you and I have as a viewer and that I have with people that I watch. It's kind of this idea that we kind of imagine that they don't have any problems, or that there's some sort of like psychological benefit we get from thinking like, oh, like their life is in a crisp little box that I can like think about, is the best way I would describe it. And it misses all the nuance. Like when we think about celebrities or anything like that, we just kind of think like about what they're showing us. We think like, oh, they have, you know, like I love James Van Der Beek. Did anybody watch Dawson's Creek? His account on Instagram brings me like so much joy. I can't even tell you. Like I see him and he's a happy dad of almost 5, and he's just hilarious. And so anytime I like see him come up on my feed, I'm just like a bolt of joy. And I was thinking about it because it's like, yeah, you kind of just see, you think like, oh, 5 kids, no big deal, like they have that handled. But it was just interesting to kind of research this idea of parasocial relationships, and I think I'm getting that phrase right, where the psychological component of like, you don't go into like the nuance and the psychology of what their life is like really like, and what you know, how they only show you one facet or one thing. And so, but it's a double-edged sword. It's like, my life is definitely not perfect, and any vlogger or anybody who's putting pictures on Instagram or Facebook, we all, I mean, it's very hard to pick up the camera or take a picture where you're in the depths of despair, or you're doing something mundane. You don't really have that urge. And what I try and do with both this vlog and my Instagram stories is I'm trying to share smiles, I'm trying to share joy, but at the same time I want to also not contribute to the problem of like, you know, I don't want to portray my life as perfection or anything like that. I kind of want to give a more fully faceted, authentic view of just my life, because my kids are going to watch this at the end of the day. Hi, kiddos. And my future self, and it's like, even my future self won't really be able to identify with who I am in this moment. She'll think and she'll say, oh yeah, I remember that person, but she won't be able to fully like, oh, that's right, that was really hard, those weeks were really trying, that pregnancy was like, you know, fourth pregnancy, it is like harder and things like that, you know. I don't want it to be so sunshiny so that maybe in 10 years from now I'm going through something really hard and I look back and almost idealize my life now, where, you know what I mean, like every phase of life has some good parts and some difficult parts. And so I'm just really working on the self-work of like being in the moment, appreciating what I have, and just being, you know, just appreciating and being and existing. And it's one of the hardest things you can do as a human. Isn't that funny? So often we're in the forward or the backward. We're just like trying to think about what's coming up, or we're thinking about some hurt of the past, and it's I think it's just a human nature thing that we're all dealing with. So I don't know why I got on that tangent. I know that I wanted to talk about something a little more like, you know, that had been affecting me this week. If you even just look it up or want to know more about it, like it's like I said, parasocial relationships. And there's some fascinating videos on YouTube that people do, just kind of discussing like what our world of social media does to our brains and why we both benefit from it and can get in kind of a bind where our lives don't look as shiny and bright in comparison. So anyways, thanks for both sharing in my joy and my moments of existential thought. Ooh. Yeah, like I said, multifaceted. All of us are. I'm wearing like one of the same shirts. I only have like 4 shirts that I'm wearing, but belly's growing. I have an appointment this week. Feels great. She's in there kicking away. And I'm hoping to get the ultrasound thing figured out, where I mentioned last time that I was feeling a little anxious about that, and I'm hoping to know more next week, so stay tuned. We're gonna give an at-home haircut to the girls. And I'm improvising for mess-wise. I'm gonna put one on the ground as well. We came to the movie in the park. It's so much fun. We're having like a makeshift picnic here. And I've come here so many years. Look, the girls got haircuts. We've had a busy, fun week. And Papa's off tomorrow. All good stuff. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I am a very lucky woman. Papa just pointed out that we are the German family.
The German family that sucks with Santa.
They're just copying their mother.
Sucks with Santa. Maybe he's gonna come back to style.
I know, we're setting it. It's a good feeling.